Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 4Foot10 Podcast with Ariel Julie. I am your host, Ariel Julie, and I am 4'10". Today, my esteemed guest and colleague is the beautiful, the talented, the diva of Chicago comedy herself, the Queeny bitch.
Hello. I am the opposite of her. I'm 6'4" out of heels, so it's like a whole different thing.
Yeah, you wore your heels last night.
I'm 6'10" in heels.
You wore the kimono last night. That was very cool.
Kimono.
That's the one we got at Ragstock. Mm-hmm. That was a good one.
Yeah, I've gotten two at Ragstock with you.
Oh, right.
And that was the second one I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
We like that one. Somebody on Facebook the other day was like, hey, Chicago peeps, where do I get a kimono? And I was starting to type out, like, you could go to Ragstock in Wicker Park in the basement, right when you walk down the stairs. It's like right in front of you. Or you could go to the one in Lakeview, go in and walk to the left towards lingerie on the back rack.
And I like full on directions.
I had typed all of this out and then I just deleted it. I was like, fuck her.
You take a right, and if you see the cropped flannel, you've gone too far.
Yeah. Okay. Today, our topic of discussion on the 4Foot10 Podcast is the seminal movie classic, Tina Fey's 2004 hit movie, iconic to this day, Mean Girls.
God, it hurts so much that it was done in 2004.
I know, this movie's 19 years old.
It feels so relevant, but...
It is.
It's just... Yeah, no, and I feel like it's coming back.
It is.
I feel like all of a sudden I'm starting to really hear a lot of like Mean Girls
because it's on
references.
Netflix again. So people are like rediscovering it, like a younger generation. And because the tropes in it are so like tale as old as time.
Right.
Like it really, even the fashion is coming back.
Yeah, that's true. The layering. Like honestly, it was like there's so much layering. It was all just like tanks with like a short sleeve shirt on top of a duster. But
a duster.
But like the amount of times I've heard like Gen Z people just coming over like the limit does not exist. I'm just like, okay.
Okay.
You know it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it's bell bottoms are coming back.
Yes.
That's
in a real way.
In a very real way. So
and I'm kind of here for them. Like they're the baggy bell bottoms. Like they're kind of fashion. I'm liking it.
I like those cloth ones that you hemmed for me.
Yes.
The butt
I'm
pants.
also her seamstress.
I pay her a very fair wage for the conditions of that sweatshop. I think it's reasonable.
It's also known as my apartment. It's a trap house.
Yeah, it is a trap. So the fashion of this movie, absolutely iconic. All the like baby tees, like the cropped baby tees with like the mini skirts.
Yeah.
Like Regina George's, I would say, I think one of the most iconic outfits of this movie is Regina George at the mall, which it has always bothered me that they're like, we're at Old Orchard Mall, and they say the name because this movie takes place in Evanston. They say it at the beginning, like, you know, hello, Evanston. And so theoretically, they would be at... Is Evanston High School? It would be Evanston Township, right? That would be the high school.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure. I'm from Vernon Hills, which is a suburb in the North Shore of Chicago. It's a very similar suburb.
I'm from the like far western suburbs, so I learned of Evanston when I moved to Chicago.
It's a very affluent neighborhood. So the girls portrayed in the movie, like, wearing heels and wearing skirts and like a full outfit, that's not crazy. Because like in Vernon Hills, we were a little bit more casual.
Yeah.
Like, and I was 14 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
So the next 4 years was me in high school. And bell bottoms for sure, but our girlies were more like a bell-bottom jean with like a Hollister t-shirt with a pair of Birkenstocks. That was like more our style. But Stevenson High School, which was our big rival, they were like dressed up, heels, skirts, like a whole outfit.
We definitely had skirts for sure. Like a lot of pleated skirts, a lot of tight jeans. We had some bell bottoms, but it wasn't crazy.
Okay.
Definitely a lot of layered tank tops and like baby tees and stuff like that.
So the popular girls of your high school, what were they wearing on a day-to-day?
Like Hollister all day. Like that was like Hollister, Abercrombie, that if you didn't have it, you weren't cool.
Yeah.
And if you weren't cool, you couldn't shop there because...
You can't shop with us.
Because the staff would kick you out.
Yeah. And it's like, why do you need to be cool to pick up a tiny t-shirt off a dirty floor, Hollister.
Right.
In no lighting.
You're not skinny enough to shop here. That's very much how they were.
I did not shop there.
Yeah.
But I was skinny and I was small.
I would go in. They're like, I mean, you could fit, but like, why would you get out of here? Like, we can tell you're not one of the cool kids.
No, I was a Delia's girly, because Delia's seemed like they were like a cool store and they had some really iconic, like of the time looks. But I didn't feel like I was being sneered at.
Yeah, I liked American Eagle.
I liked my jeans from American Eagle because as a 4'10" woman, there it is. They were the only ones that fit me right now, guys. I didn't have to get them hemmed.
That's all that's fitting me right now.
That's all that fits me right now. So the fashion of this movie, still iconic, absolutely coming back for sure. Even peasant tops or like the kind of flowy, like tight at the top and then flowy, that's all kind of coming back. So that's a bunch. And then of course we have Janice Ian with her like goth girl, like the stripy socks with the big, like that was such a vibe.
And that is coming back, I feel like. I mean, a lot of like the baggy, grungier, like the 90s grunge is really big now. And like, I feel like Gen Z is like actively trying to look homeless and like I'm kind of here for it.
I mean, well, so what I do like about Mean Girls is that you really do have like your tropes. Like you have your very popular, like the pretty, rich, girls. And then Janice is obviously like our alt character. Like she's that alt girl. Like
they really shoved it down our throat too.
Oh, they
didn't go like, oh, look at the way she wears her eyeliner. They're like, everything has to be alt. She looks like she's a groupie for Green Day.
Yeah, and I'm here for it.
I loved it.
I was too.
Kind of the same.
My 15th birthday. On my 15th birthday, we drove to Peoria, Illinois to see Green Day at the Peoria Civic Center.
Wow.
And it was on a weeknight. It was on a school night. I thought I was so cool. And I was not. I was very ugly. I was very, very ugly. I was so ugly. It hurts to remember. But I just, so Mean Girls was such like an iconic film. Did you watch it in theaters?
I don't think I did actually. I think I watched it like the first time I watched it because like my family used to always have movie night. So I think we got it from Blockbuster.
That's an old sentence to say. So do you remember the first time you watched it? Like what were some of your reactions?
I just thought it was hilarious. It didn't feel like a high school that I ever knew, which I kind of liked because it like kind of took me out of it. I loved how segregated everything was. I definitely like when she sees it from the perspective of like out in the wild. All of it's like all the kids start turning into animals. I thought it was hilarious. I love the burn book. If I wrote it, it would have been a lot more thoughtful and hurtful.
We watched this movie together last night.
Yes.
And by last night I mean this morning. It was like 2:00 in the morning.
It was when we started it.
Yeah. I was telling you I would never have made a burn book like that when I was in high school because I would have been so like type A about cutting pictures out of my yearbook.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have wanted to mess up my yearbook that I paid $17 for.
I would have been the same though. I would have been like, well, what happens in 17 years when I want to look at it? Which like I don't have any of my yearbooks. I have no idea.
Oh, I have all of my yearbooks.
I don't think I do actually. I think they're all gone. I know I could probably call the school and get another one, but also I hated all those people. So why would I look back?
I like looking back because like it is like a little time capsule of like the fashion, what was popular, like what people were doing, and like you look at people's names and you're like, oh, he's dead now.
Right.
Crazy.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Everyone else remembers it. No one knows him.
No.
We remember him, though.
Yeah. You could now you got Facebook. So this is also a pre-Facebook era movie. This is pre-social media. Can you imagine?
Well, it technically existed, but it wasn't big yet.
Well, Facebook didn't exist yet. Facebook came out in like well, that's true. And there's no mention.
When did Facebook come out? I feel like Facebook was out for a while, but then didn't get big until later.
I think 2006.
Yeah.
Was the debut. Because this movie definitely came out in 2004.
Right.
So.
Because YouTube came out in 2002.
Yeah. So there was some internet, and none of that is in this movie, and I don't think it needs to be.
It doesn't. Well, it's all flip phones. It's all, God, I miss T9.
Oh, yeah, that was another one. Okay.
It was all flip phones.
All right. So everything about this movie truly is iconic. The lines are iconic. Obviously the fashion is iconic. The locations. Oh, that was my bone to pick, was when they go to the mall and they're like, we are at Old Orchard Mall. Like, they tell us specifically. In real life, Old Orchard Mall is an outdoor mall. The mall that they are at is much more similar to Woodfield Mall, which is in Schaumburg.
In this.
They could have just called it Woodfield Mall.
Right.
Because that is an actual indoor mall in Schaumburg, Illinois,
right.
which would be feasible for a group of teenagers from Evanston to go to.
Right.
Like, that's not that far. It's a major mall.
Right.
And yes, they probably would have gone to Old Orchard because that is much closer to Evanston. It's in Skokie, which is their neighbors.
Right.
But it is an outdoor mall, so that they are indoors with a...
Right, but they're like, but the weather...
Anyway, so you know what? Let's just jump right in. Let's talk about that mall scene. Because that is, I think, Regina's first, like, we know as an audience now that she is a mean girl. Because the first time we see her in the cafeteria, she's like,
play nice.
She is play nice. And we can see the evil in Rachel McAdams' eyes.
Right.
We can see that it's there. They're so big.
Right when she says, like, so you agree? You think you're really pretty?
Yeah. What is this moment? What is that moment? What is with the, so you agree, you think you're really pretty? Why does she need to say this?
She's sizing her up. I think she's trying to keep her on edge. I think the whole thing is a power move.
Yeah.
So she's like walking in, and so she's like saying, like, she's complimenting her so she feels beholden. And then she's also then letting her answer the questions, but then kind of throwing her off guard by then zooming in on one thing that she said. So then she feels like she's being interrogated.
Yeah. So it's like first disarm.
Yeah.
And then control.
Then put her on her toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Regina had like some kind of label, like, I don't feel like she's a narcissist. I don't feel like that's what this is. It doesn't feel like bipolar. It doesn't feel like borderline personality. What is she just like?
She's just a bitch.
Is she a sociopath?
Which is fine.
Is she kind of a psychopath?
Oh, she's a bit of a sociopath, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, in the mall scene, you see she's a total sociopath.
So let's talk about that mall scene. So they're walking through, and Lacey Chabert, who plays Gretchen Wieners, whose father is the inventor of toaster strudel. Wink.
Straddle.
Straddle. Toaster strudel.
This is und toaster strudel.
We were trying to work on my German accent in the car. I'm
She's
not.
Jewish, so I feel like she has to have it.
It would be a good defense for me to be able to do one. Well, it would be some good armor to have in my arsenal, but I'm not there yet. But Gretchen Wieners she sees the guy that she's been kind of hooking up with, Jason, who is played by that guy that was in all of those episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Remember that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Oh my God.
So he's there with...
I loved that show, by the way.
He's there with Taylor Waddell.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then Regina's like, give me your phone. And I'm like, in this moment, has she done this before? Is this something she came up with in the moment? Like, where does this evil, is this something she's been like, does she write down like evil things, like pranks, but like really crazy pranks that she's like, okay, in this situation, like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
How do you even think to do something like this? So please explain what the next part is.
So she calls her mom, the Taylor's mom. And this only works because it's like, back then, not every phone had caller ID. And so she calls and says, like, hi, this is blah, blah, blah with Planned Parenthood. And
Susan.
this is Susan from Planned Parenthood. And we have your daughter's test results back. And then so just essentially just outs her that she's doing stuff.
Yeah.
And essentially just like blows up her whole home life. Yeah. Because he's just going around with some, and it's always one of those things where it's like, it's the dude's fault, but we're going to destroy this girl.
It's this is just a total moment of sociopathy.
Yeah.
It's an amazing prank.
Yes.
But holy shit. Like, that
it was one of those moments you're like, oh, did she just, and I remember when I first watched the movie, I didn't bat an eye. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. And I'm watching it now, I'm just like, Jesus.
Oh my God. But like, if that had happened, like if a girl in high school who like really hated me was like, I'm going to call Ariel's home phone and speak to her mom and say, this is Susan from Planned Parenthood, we have your daughter's test results. Can you ever call us back? It's urgent. Thank
Right.
you. Like, my mom would have probably approached me about it. She probably would have just been like, what's going on? And I would have been like, I'm not. Like, my mom trusted me. I think she would have been like, is that a prank? You know, like, I don't think my mom would have fallen for that.
Yeah, no, my parents weren't idiots. My dad would have asked for a number.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, what number can I call you back on? And he would have called them back to make sure. Yeah. My dad is very incredulous about everything.
I think, well, I don't know. Maybe my mom would have believed. I don't know. I think she would have at least asked me about it before she just like was like, come home, you're grounded, you know?
Yeah, no, my dad would have just had a talk with me.
Yeah.
It would have been like just to make sure that everything's fine and let's just check in.
Let's just make sure. Birds, bees, you know it, right? You got it.
Yeah, okay. Right.
So, but that's a really cool scene in the mall though, because we like, she does this amazing sociopathic move. Yeah. And then we turn and we see
Gretchen's
Taylor.
So grateful.
Yeah, Gretchen's like, oh my God.
She's such a good friend. The way she just killed that girl for me.
That was so fetch. And it was just like, yeah. Okay. Moving on. And then Lindsay Lohan turns and sees, you know, Taylor, like the aftermath, the smallest percentage of the aftermath. And she feels like a smidgen bad, but then immediately the music kicks back on and they are still shopping. Right. And I feel like that's a really good foreshadowing for like Lindsay's character in the movie, that like she does have these moments of humanity. Like, that doesn't seem like the right thing to do, but also friends. But
she's on a mission at this point, right? Because she's already at the point where they're like, let's sabotage her. Yeah. So she's in it because now she's wearing pink. So she's been with them for like at least a few days.
It doesn't even occur to her to like tell Janice, oh my God, this is what she did to Taylor Waddell.
Right. Well, yeah, that would be pretty... I feel like that. Well, I mean, I don't know, because it was like the early 2000s. You were kind of supposed to be mean.
I guess.
Like, kind of, you were supposed to be mean back then.
I feel like kids are still mean. Like, they're woke, but you're still gonna find a way to be mean, even when you're woke.
Yeah, but it was like fashionable and cool to be mean. Sure. Like now, like I mean, you're gonna be mean. People are still mean, but like you had brands around the idea of just being dicks. Yeah. You know, because that was that was like when The Apprentice got big. Like, You Are the Weakest Link, which was like, do you want to be a millionaire but mean? And like everyone was just like, oh my God, this is reality TV got huge, and everyone was just assholes to each other.
It was a lot of mean. You're right. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. So this was, you know, a very of that time. Yeah. Like, this is how people kind of are.
Which is probably why I didn't bat an eye when I first saw it. I was just like, oh my God, she's crazy.
Did you see? She looks fun.
I like her.
I would hang out with her. She's a little bit dramatic. I like that. Did you see 17 again on Netflix? With Rebel Wilson?
No.
The plot of the movie is that she is a teenager in this time period, and she gets hit on the head. She gets in a coma, and she wakes up in today's age. And so she's a much older person, but mentally she's still 17 in that era.
So it's like 13 going on 30.
Kind of.
Just done again.
Yes, basically. And 17, or no, maybe that's not the name of the movie. 17 Again is a movie with Zac Efron. Just kidding. What's the name of this movie? With Rebel Will. Can you look it up? Thank you, Justin.
What's the point of him if he's not looking things up?
But now, so she is like in her head, like, I'm a high school girl in the early 2000s, but now it's 2023. And the mean girl of that movie is this like super woke, like, no animal testing, activist, but she's the mean girl. Yeah. But she like says all the right things.
She's saying all the right stuff. She's just
this
doing
is my vegan
shit.
Friendly like person. You're not, you know, and you're like, but she's still mean. Bless you. So it's like you can be woke and still mean, because the meanness is inside of you.
If you're not careful, you're about to get canceled. You can't be woke and mean. Those are diametrically opposed.
Senior year, that's what it is. 17 again. So there are a lot of different movies with young people ending up in older bodies or older people ending up in younger bodies. 13 going on 30. She does the time jump from 13 to 30. 17 again, Zac Efron is played by Chandler from Friends, and then he goes backwards.
Matthew Perry.
Yes, he's Matthew Perry, and then he's now a teenager in today's times. And then senior year is Rebel Wilson is in a coma, and then she wakes up. And she thinks she's still young.
So it's a coma thing.
It's a coma thing.
Okay. Because the other ones were like, oh my God, I just woke up and I'm in this weird magical situation.
Which, by the way, the coma thing, not addressed. Not really addressed. She just wakes up. Yeah, one of the other cheerleaders literally sabotages her in a move during a cheerleading routine that could literally have killed her.
Yeah.
And she ends up in a coma.
Did. She was in a coma.
Yeah, and then in that part of this is your fault. That is never addressed in the movie. It's just a lot of references. Just a lot of butterfly clips and low-rise jeans. And wouldn't it be funny to see Rebel Wilson wear low-rise jeans? That's most of the movie. Anyway, so...
Was she the hot girl before and then she kind of lost it over the coma?
Sure, yeah.
Situation?
She just aged, as you do.
People do that?
White people do that.
Feels so 90s.
Getting older? Amateur. Okay.
Yeah, out of fashion.
So Mean Girls. So back to Mean Girls. So I think that I said this last night. I think that this scene where she pretends to be Susan from Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
I think this is really the scene that is the most important for Republican lawmakers to realize why we need to keep Planned Parenthood is so we can continue to prank girls that are skeezing on our friends' boyfriends.
Right. I mean, if you want Republicans to jump on anything, just show them how you can use it for cruelty.
Exactly.
And then they're like, actually, money well spent.
Regina George, kind of a Republican.
Yeah. And a hero.
Well, not all heroes believe in gun control. So...
I mean, Susan would have gotten chlamydia.
Died.
She saved her.
And died.
You will get chlamydia.
And
you will die.
Yeah. And spell it with a K.
Chlamydia.
Okay.
K-L-A.
So, okay. Let's talk about... Should we talk about Amy Poehler in this movie, or should we talk about Coach Carr and the underage girls? Since we're already kind of a little bit there. Where do we go next? This movie. There's so much in this movie. There's so much going on. There's so many subplots and side plots. And you're like, wait a minute. Tina Fey, hold on.
I forgot how much shit was going on with that movie.
There are two 16-year-old Vietnamese girls who are having sex with a 46-year-old out-of-shape coach.
Yes.
And this is just sort of we're not addressing. And then they address it at the end. So all the allegations against Coach Carr turned out to be
very real.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Coach Carr has fled the state.
Right.
What happens to Coach Carr? What is that story?
I think it's just implied that he does eventually go to prison. Because they caught him, and you can only run for so long. I mean, especially on a teacher's salary. What are you going to do? Buy a house?
How do you know they caught him? You don't know that they caught him.
He has no money. He's an educator. We don't pay our people well.
I wouldn't call him an educator. I would call him a gym teacher.
He
wasn't doing a lot of
physical education. He took it too seriously.
Oh my God, that scene in the projection room above the auditorium.
It looks like he's going to the projection room above the auditorium.
I'm sorry, Katie. You are this math, calculus whiz. You are so good at math. And you have a crush on a guy who would read a sign that says, swim practice will be held in the projection room above the auditorium. And he was like, yeah, okay. That tracks.
Seems a little weird, but I'll go.
You're like, that's the guy?
Yeah, it doesn't ask any of his swim team friends. And also, apparently, he's the only one who saw the sign because he's the only one who shows up. You think the whole team just shows up to the thing. It's interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about Damien. Let's talk about Damien's character because he's the one who stole the purse. And let's just talk about Damien.
Yes.
Is he too gay to function? I feel like I can't speak to this, but you maybe?
I mean, when you get too gay, eventually you do cease to function. It's just a thing. Like, I'll just shut off for like a few days because like the gay just kind of like flares up. Mm-hmm. It's like an autonomic situation.
Okay. Reasonable. So being gay is like a
disorder,
like a bacterial rash.
They got it right in the 70s.
Fair enough. Okay, so then this portrayal of Damien, there's a lot of talk, especially today, 2023. We talk about queer characters in film and TV and how they're portrayed and whether they have really good plot lines or whether they're well written or well rounded or whether they're quote unquote done dirty.
Less tropey than most of them were done at the time.
Really? Okay.
You know, because like if you watch School of Rock with Jack Black, they have this little kid and he's the gay kid. He's very lispy. He's the tailor for all of their stuff. Like the whole thing. Oh my God, it's so bad. Like I watched it and I was just like, this is like borderline offensive. And I'm like, I mean, I still love it because I
really
loved this
character.
movie and it's really funny, but I'm just looking at it like, this is a lot. But like they didn't have anything else. That's just how it was. This guy was actually how gay kids were back in the time. Like he's not over the top.
He was overweight, which I think is like actually playing against stereotypes.
I think that was helpful.
At that time, you think of like a gay, you're thinking of like Carson Kressley from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. You're thinking of like these effeminate, like very thin, like men who look like you, like just tall and thin and like know their makeup and they're like gorgeous, honey. And then you've
very
got
fashion forward, and he's just like I'm a dude, and I'm gay, and like I have a couple like gay isms, but like they didn't shove it down your throat. It wasn't any Janice Ian. With her being alternative.
No, but I do love their friendship. I had a friendship like that in high school. Like my best friend was gay, but he wasn't like a, hey, like he was, he just was, and he was like an anime kind of nerd, and we've since had a falling out, which is very unfortunate. It was back in college. We had a little bit of a tiff, but I do wish him very, very well. Yes. And
just a little issue. The cops were called anyway.
No. That's not what happened. No, what happened was he became friends with a girl who straight up has borderline personality disorder, and she decided that he was her friend and not mine. And I said, you can have him. It's fine. I will move on with my life. But
this is sad, but he's yours.
Yes. But like, I was pretty alt, I wore eyeliner that went all the way around the eye, like I was alternate.
Also, that was like all the makeup that was being done with it.
Oh,
the thing, they were accurate because that is how girls were wearing their eye makeup.
You had comments on that eyeshadow.
I hated it. And it was all just like pastel metallics. And
God forbid.
Oh my God. What are you, Britney, 1999? But like,
she's iconic.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean I liked it. I wasn't a huge Britney fan
now
at the
look
time.
who's a mean girl.
I know, I'm such a bitch. I don't know, like I liked it. I think what they missed was the all around the face bronzer, because that's what all the girls were orange back then.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because before Trump made it big, it was in the 2000s in your junior high school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a lot of orange. You're right. It was a lot of orange.
Yeah, the self tanner was real. Yeah. That was real.
Everyone had it. They had that with the raccoon eyes, and that was the thing. Yeah. And they never blended into the neck. It was always just the face, and the rest of it was still pale as hell.
Oh, and
like, girl.
What they also got really right, I think, was the stick straight hair.
Oh, yeah.
The sticks with the layers.
Everything was about straighteners.
Straighteners with the layers.
Yeah.
Wow.
They missed the crimping.
Yeah, but that was a little bit earlier.
That was a little earlier.
That was like 90s.
Yeah, like late 90s.
Yeah, we didn't really do that. I feel like, so Karen, Gretchen, Regina, and later Katie, I think they really were like if you were going to dress up, like this was, because they're not wearing Uggs in any of the scenes.
Right.
And they would have owned Uggs. Yeah, at that time.
They would have.
Uggs with a jean skirt.
Yeah.
Very, very Kristen Cavallari. They would have been watching
Uggs got big in like 2006.
Really?
I feel like it was like a little bit later.
No,
they
because
started going nuts.
Rory's wearing Uggs in season 2 of Gilmore Girls. That is 2002.
Okay.
They would not have put those in there if they weren't ubiquitous enough
that
for
people would notice it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no, everyone. Has
Rory
Uggs at the
Gilmore is wearing Ugg boots. Okay.
time. I put my fist down. It was happening.
It was happening. So let's talk about the burn book. We touched on it already. How
Yes.
I would never have cut pictures out of my yearbook.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have decimated such a sacred document. I would never have done that. But
Would you take pieces out of the Declaration of Independence? No.
what, just to find buried treasure? Ew, no. Why would you ever? But the concept of let's record all of the meanest rumors about people that probably they've known since kindergarten or
Right.
first grade. These
Right.
are people that they've probably known for a very long time.
Right.
And whatever the rumor is, they've decided to immortalize that rumor
Right.
in a book and write it down.
Which is incriminating. I mean, they should have called a lawyer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why would you write it
Gretchen
down?
does.
Right.
I cannot answer any further questions without an attorney present.
Which is smart.
So smart. So smart.
It's you're not arrested, right? I don't care.
You know what? And I love about that moment is that she really is kind of playing into Jewish stereotypes, but so subtle.
Right.
Because you kind of forget that she's there's just a couple little and for Hanukkah, my parents got me. That's all she,
Right.
and so you know that she is a Jewish character.
there.
It is there. But it's there in the same, that is what a Jewish girl in the North Shore suburbs of that time, that is about as Jewish as you're going to get.
And also, she's the hottest mean girl.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Can we?
She's gorgeous.
She is beautifully stunning.
I know.
Her hair, perfectly curled, her big old bug eyes.
Well, and that's why Regina had to be so mean to her
Sure.
and keep her down because it's just she could steal all her power.
She could.
Right. She's
But-
you can't wear those hoop earrings.
but
She had to keep her in her place.
While Regina is on the phone with Katie eating a full baguette, Gretchen can't
Done that
win.
before. It feels so luxurious. I've just sat on a bench in Chicago with a full baguette back when I worked at the Waldorf because they were fresh and just sitting there just tearing pieces off. No butter.
And you're on the
nothing.
phone with somebody she's not pretty.
That seemed really.
I know
home.
that sounds bad, but whatever. Just...
It's not even that pretty. I know that sounds bad, but whatever.
Boo, you whore. Should we talk about Karen Smith?
Which one was she? She's
The other
the dumb one.
The dumb one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you told me about her.
She can fit her whole fist in her mouth.
Right. I did love my breasts know if it's going to rain.
Yeah.
Let me correct. My breasts know when it's raining.
She's so close. Yeah. No, you know when it's raining, and you have. Okay. So close. I also think, though, that they did a really good job of portraying a dumber character without having her do something really, really stupid. It's little things.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
She played it very subtle.
Putting the K on backwards at the end in the dance scene. And she's like, okay, I did it. I'm amazing. I think my favorite part is when she talks about making out with her cousin. It's he looks hot tonight. It's that's your cousin. He's a good kisser. No. Oh, Halloween party. We are so jumping around. I'm sorry. You guys have seen the movie. You get it. So Halloween party. Can we just say definitively, Gretchen looks so much hotter in that leather cat suit than Regina does in the bunny suit?
Oh, yeah.
And if we're comparing bunny suits, Regina George versus Elle Woods.
That's hard.
I know.
That's really hard.
Elle Woods is a very traditional bunny suit. There will be another episode fully devoted to Legally Blonde. Don't you worry.
Please call me for that one.
Oh, I will. I will.
Oh my God.
I've seen it
love Legally Blonde.
many times. Okay, that's not today. That's another day. But I will say,
Legally Blonde.
Elle Woods in her bunny suit. That's kind of that old school, the satin, a Playboy bunny from the early 60s, 70s kind of look.
Right.
It's, with the hot pink tights and those metallic shoes. But Regina's, she's got, it's a sparkly and it's white. It's not pink. It's black and white. I love that Regina doesn't need pink to be her signature color, And she's got the little rhinestones
Because it wasn't Wednesday.
inside the eyes. Well, right. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. On Halloween, we wear whatever the fuck we want.
But it has to be slutty.
Those little rhinestones in the eyes. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah.
Did she come? Who? How? She is iconic.
No, it had been done before, but I think mostly for like editorials. I think that was the first time I've seen it like in something that was that visible, you know, and now everyone does it.
Yeah.
Now it's crazy. Like everyone loves rhinestone. I saw this one girl at work recently. She rhinestoned her hair. I was like, how are you getting those out?
And then
I
I
didn't
say
actually
her
ask
head is
her.
shaved.
It looked the next day. It's just gone.
I figured it out.
It was a Viking funeral for my hair.
But boy, we went out with a bang. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous the whole time. All right. We should do some like some controversy with this film.
Yes.
Some controversial opinions. So, who do we think is the villain of this movie? I think it's Janice. I think Janice is the villain of this movie.
Well, it's about Janice's revenge.
Yes, it really, really is.
Really. And then Katie gets just sucked into it and then ends up just becoming a plastic.
Yes.
I feel like Katie's kind of the villain because she ends up becoming the plastic and starts doing the stuff.
Right.
Also,
but the whole thing is Janice's idea. Like, Regina's not nice.
No.
The Taylor Waddell scene is what we really need as an audience to see, like, oh, she is not a nice girl.
Right.
She is an actual active sociopath in this world.
Yeah.
But why doesn't Katie just tell everybody about the burn book? Like, she tells Janice about the burn book.
Right.
And that's like that first scene. Janice like, we could publish that and show everybody. And then Katie's like, but she'll be friends.
right.
But she's so pretty.
Yeah, but she's so nice to me
Only
specifically.
me. I still want her to like me.
Right.
What is that when you still want people to like you? I feel like I get that in the comedy scene a lot. People are like, you're very intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, you're really scary. Ariel, like, I'm afraid that Ariel doesn't like me. This is what I've been told. People have said that to, like, my boyfriend and other friends of mine, like, Ariel's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But then they, like, talked and they're like, I just want you to like me. I'm like, why? Why do you need my approval? I don't care. I don't care.
I mean, I get the same
about you.
I get the same
At
thing,
all.
And I'm the same way. I'm like, it's like, what power do you think I have? Like, I want us to be friends because it's like, I don't control anything. I just show up places and do stuff. But like, I feel like it's like that, like in high school, I mean, the comedy scene's a lot like high school because it is a little bit of like an insular, popularity contest to a certain extent. Yeah. And
everyone's a sociopath.
Right. But in high school, everyone is a sociopath. If you heard the jokes they're saying, but like,
it's rough.
Right. But like, I feel like in high school, it's even more because you don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Because all you've known is you're in school and you're forced to be around these same 500 people and you kind of follow them through all of your days. Mm-hmm. And you haven't had that moment where it's like where you hit 18 and all of a sudden like, oh, high school wasn't real? That's crazy. Yeah. So like, I feel like you kind of need to, like, especially when you go into a new place, you're in a new country, and all of a sudden you're in there and you're just like, which also she had no accent, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, the Jumbo scene.
Oh my God.
Jumbo.
Right. It's like, if you're from there, it would be, you think it should be like Jumbo or something, or not, like, it wouldn't be like, Jumbo, everyone. Hi, black people.
I had a lot of friends in Africa. You guys are black.
They looked like you.
So I know a word in African. Jambo.
Also, you think she would have thought, like, if she's from Africa, you would think she would know how many dialects there are. And, like, you probably can't just say one and just assume.
Right.
They're, like, across the world, like, they know the one I know. It's fine.
But if you also, remember one of the girls who was sitting at the table of unfriendly black hotties, which I love is its own specific thing.
Unfriendly black hotties. I don't think you can call black people unfriendly anymore.
You can.
You can.
You shouldn't.
But it's funny.
You know, Black Lives Matter, but they can be unfriendly. You know,
they can be.
They're important. They're just hard to read. But that one girl that was at the table, she's the one from the vintage skirt scene moment. It's that same girl. And, like, I love that scene, too, because, like, in that first scene when Katie is sitting at the lunch table with Regina and she like interrupts this like power play to be like, I love your bracelet. Where did you get it? And like we have this moment and you're like, that's kind of weird. Like, okay, weird.
She's just continuing to disarm her.
And then later in the movie, obviously that's the callback. And then when she sees Regina like the other side of the curtain and she realizes like, oh, that was like a mean girl moment from 2.5 months ago that we're talking about right now.
Say, oh, she only compliments things she hates. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like they're in the middle of a conversation and with her like fucking evil eye, she just like is like looking at you and talking to you about out of the corner of her eyes. She's like, I see something I want to just be like, it's like this impulse of just like, yeah, that's really cool. Oh my God, I love your skirt. Where'd you get it? I'm going to be so mean right now. Vintage. Totally adorable. That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen in my life. Like, what is that release?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
It's like after a show when you say to somebody like, oh my God, good set. And then they walk away and you turn to your friend and you're like, that was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've never heard. She didn't make me laugh once.
Yeah, she should quit comedy.
Yeah. You can just put it on Facebook.
That was the ugliest effing set I've ever seen.
I can't believe she wore her hair like that.
Oh my God, I love those jokes. Where did you get them? They were my mom's in the 80s. Vintage? So adorable.
Those jokes are so vintage. So I was just doing a Rodney Dangerfield set, just verbatim.
So who do you think is the Regina George of the comedy scene? Do you think it's you or me?
It would probably...
Also, you have a little water in your life.
God damn it.
It's just water.
I gotta stop hydrating. I'm so hydrated. You hit 30 and you just need to constantly drink water.
Yeah. You're a human. It's part of the...
It would probably be me.
Okay. You think you're more of a Regina than me?
Yeah.
Am I Gretchen? That's why my hair is so big.
No, you're definitely Karen.
I can do math in my head.
No, you would be Gretchen. I mean, you're Jewish, so you would have to be.
I would. That's
you can't be Regina. She's a Gentile.
Does that mean I'm the prettiest?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I would be a little bit Gretchen. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I do feel like if this storyline happened to me, I think I would follow a very similar track to Katie, though. Like being new at this school and just kind of not knowing what's going on, and then sort of going with the flow and being like, I guess I'm this. I guess I'll be this. Yeah.
I think that's what all of us do, though. Like, we walk in and because like no one comes into the comedy scene. It's just like, this makes sense. Like, you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so a lot of us are like, this is so weird. And then like, I don't understand this. I wouldn't do it this way. And then a year after that, you're just like, this is just how it's done. You guys need to just relax.
And I really do hold grudges. Like I had a podcast related incident a year into my comedy career, and the person that was doing the podcast, I'm really not going to name names. I really am not trying to do that, but the person that I felt was kind of responsible for the whole situation blowing up to being much bigger than it needed to be, I was like, fuck that bitch, because she didn't tell me, she didn't warn it, and the blah blah blah, and then this is, and I will never like her again. I'm not laughing at anything she said ever. Like, I'm like, I have that, and I have this inside of me. Mm-hmm. Like, that is all living inside of me, where I'm like, no, you wronged me once, fuck you forever. Bye.
And that's how you get back at someone in the comedy scene. You just never laugh at them again. You're just sitting there, they actually tell like a legitimately good joke.
No, you're getting nothing from me.
Ever.
And then you just sit there and you mean mug them.
Arms crossed, seat back.
Oh, yeah. Is basically just the blueprint for comedy.
Yeah, I've really learned a lot. It turns out the comedy scene is just Mean Girls / high school. That feels so true, though. It like hurts a little bit, but
the movie is so iconic.
Yeah,
it 1,000,000% holds up today. Mm-hmm. Like the vibe of that movie, the way that the characters treat each other and talk about each other and interact, like the fashion, the Girls Gone Wild, like the whole this movie holds up.
We have Girls Gone Wild playing in the back and the little kids just
And weirdly enough, like I don't even find it that offensive. Like
it's not.
There is that one part where when Regina's explaining her friendship with Janice and she's like, I know, it's so retarded. And you're like, that doesn't even hit Like, the way she says it in the
Right.
context of this movie made in 2004,
Yeah.
it doesn't even, like, you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's exactly what this character would say.
And also, you could just say that back then. Like, you could, I mean, you still, like, weren't supposed to, but no one was going to say anything.
But it's Regina George.
Right. She's the mean girl. They could say whatever they wanted.
And she does.
Yeah. I mean, some of the homophobia situation, I don't think would have worked as well now, but it did have a time and place. It did feel real. That was how it was. That was back in the time where everyone was just saying, like, that's so gay.
Okay. Mean Girls, where are they now? Where is Katie now?
Katie is, I don't know, I feel like she's like a paralegal because she doesn't want to get her law degree.
I feel like,
She's really smart, but I don't think she was going to do much with it.
No, I do feel like Katie would definitely have settled
Yeah.
for like a middle, like
Yeah, she didn't feel very ambitious.
No,
Yeah.
she's a very kind of go with the flow, and like she'll kind of fall into something that's fine.
And then like Regina is a sociopath, so she's obviously a CEO.
Absolutely.
Very successful.
She probably
She knows how to manipulate people too
She's
well
one
not
of
to
the
work.
first to do something that is iconic now. She's definitely like was the first influencer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably had like 1 million Twitter followers before that was even a thing.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Like she probably has an iconic TikTok.
Whatever she's doing, she's got to be killing it.
I feel like she definitely lives in LA.
Yeah.
And she probably hangs out with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to be famous.
No.
Regina doesn't feel like she wants to be famous. She just wants to be like quietly powerful.
Yeah. She wants to be powerful. She wants to be the prettiest person in the room.
Like
she wants to look at the celebrities and just look down on them.
Yes. She's just like casually kind of friends with Anna Wintour.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that. I would definitely see her being in some kind of fashion house. She needs to be, I see her, like if she got into show business, she would be on the production side.
Yeah.
She would be the final call
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I don't want to be a celebrity. They have no power. That would be her.
Yes. Because
100%.
like no, the celebrity feels like it has the power. But
Yeah.
the production, like the head of the company, like she's probably the head of Netflix.
Yeah.
That's probably why Mean Girls is on Netflix.
She did that.
She did that.
Regina George came to life in real. Rachel McAdams just had a schism.
She's real. I think she's real. Karen Smith, where is she now?
She's Regina's assistant.
Obviously.
100%.
What about Gretchen? Where is Gretchen?
Gretchen's
Wieners?
doing her own thing. Gretchen has left.
I think she's a translator for the Chinese consulate.
Right.
How did she learn fluent Chinese in a summer?
Yeah, she's working at the UN.
Obviously working at the
100%,
UN.
yeah.
Yes. I feel like Gretchen has a decent life.
Yeah, I think Gretchen's doing fine.
Yeah. I really think she's doing fine. I feel like Katie stayed in the North Shore. I do feel like Karen would have probably followed Regina.
Wherever she went.
Yeah, but she's probably got a decent life.
Yeah.
Aaron Samuels, where is he now?
Oh, he's like a bagger at a grocery store.
No.
Yeah.
He's at least manager.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he was actually like a good guy, so he didn't get that far.
I feel like he's the manager, though, who would still help bag groceries when they're shorthanded.
Exactly.
You know, like
Definitely.
it's his store.
He does give store manager vibes. He has big store manager energy.
But like the store manager that people really like.
Right.
Damien, where is he now?
I think he's doing drag.
You think he was on Drag Race?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he was actually on Drag Race, but
No, but like his character would have been a contestant.
Definitely did drag right after high school.
Fair. Janice Ian, where is she now?
She's probably still touring with her ska band.
I feel like she became a lawyer. That's my personal opinion.
I could see that too. I mean, she's too calculating not to.
She
knows how to pick apart a case and find the weak points. So definitely.
Also, Lizzie Kaplan played a lawyer in New Girl. She plays a lawyer in a couple episodes. She dates Nick, Jake Johnson's character. Yeah. And I felt very much like this is Janice grown up. Mm-hmm. Like this is the same character. Yeah. For sure.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I think that is a very fair Where Are They Now? I think that really wraps up our discussion today. Mean Girls, an absolutely iconic film, holds up to this day.
The best.
Go watch it. Queeny, where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram, which is Queeny Comedy, Queeny Comedy. I'm also on TikTok as That Queeny Bitch. And then, just like come out to shows and stuff. Look
Great.
at my stories. Look at my posts.
Yeah, do that, especially for makeup tutorials and tips. Yeah, incredible. Absolutely incredible. And as always, you can find me at Ariel Julie Comedy on Instagram, Ariel Julie Comedy on YouTube, wherever you can find me. And thank you guys so much. See you next time. Bye.